Hi everyone, this is Rise Again. Today I'm going to review Batman, the Dark Prince Charming. I'm certain that what we are dealing with when it comes to this book is a example of what happens when you use Google Translate to translate a fan fiction comic book. So this is a very unique phenomenon in comic book making. Um, what this is a book created, drawn and written by an Italian artist named Marani. And I love Italian artists, and this looks cool, doesn't it? Like he does a good job. It's beautiful. I love watercolor type stuff in comics, and I love Italian style. It's different, but it's I don't know. I love Italy in general. When I went there, I painted, I ate great food, I drank all the wine. I ended up hooking up with not one, but two Sylvias before I left, and was not able to, they did not speak English. Um, you learned a lot about how humans work when you can't speak English and you're trying to talk two Sylvias into a threesome. Anyway, I was caught climbing a drain pipe at night while singing. I fell in love and then I left. And I cried the whole way home like a bitch. And not a bad run, I'd say. Italians are fun. They have different sensibilities than us. And how does that translate into a dark ass Batman tale? Let's find out. So we open up on the Joker, kind of coming in like a horror movie, like cliche. He's holding the razor blade. He's got the shadow on the wall and all that shit. And he keeps saying things like, Daddy's coming. Like, hello, Daddy's on the way. And it's the little girl looks terrified. But she's got a nice big gulp and a mattress. I mean, she's doing better than a lot of people in her dungeon. Anyway, so punk rock Joker's coming for her, and then we cut to Batman, who's it's very typical Batman. This book kind of goes between a lot of different Batman we've seen before all in one. I think this artist took and picked things that he liked from lots of not just comics, but movies as well, and he created his Batman story. The Joker, my enemy, my opposite. Most even think the devil would kick him out of hell. Some think the same about me. This is the type of shit, no offense, but I mean, it's not terrible, but it's the type of stuff I would have written, like maybe if I was doing like a fanfic of Batman as a kid. I've tried so many times to tear him out of Gotham, my city, but he's like a weed, keeps coming up. Okay, whatever, English is probably a second language to this fella. Um, and then you get these weird moments where Catwoman's chasing the Joker as they're running from the law. And we've got a Gatling gun and a clown saying, Eat this, losers! Guys, did you see how I blew away those dummies? That was awesome! Okay. See, once again, the writing, your flags haven't gone up fully yet with what's going on with the writing, but keep reading. You'll see what happens. Joker's like, oh, it was a nice haul. And look at this necklace alone. It's worth $500. And for some reason, in the middle of like a adrenaline pounding, high speed chase, his henchman looks over at him and he's like, it don't look like all that much to me, boss. Like, what? Like, look at what he's holding. Like, look at the wads of cash, like, flying out of their shit. Like, he's seen bigger scores before. Even if he had, do you tell your boss who's wearing fucking clown makeup and has a penchant to kill everything this? Like, you give him like a critique mid high speed chase? What the fuck? Anyway, so then Catwoman's like, pull over, Joker. And he's like, hello, kitty. And she's like, you took my score. Those pearls were mine. And he's like, early bird catches the worm, now get lost. Okay, he's using it properly, but it's just kind of cliche. There's a lot of cliches that we hear in English a lot that most writers here in America would probably avoid. But once again, is this a Google Translate thing where he wrote it in Italian and they just like pumped it through a translator and just like copy pasted it in? Let's find out. And he says, Stop twerking so I can hit you. Okay. What the fuck? Stop twerking. What? What? She's twerking. I don't think he. See, I think that this is where my flags went up. I'm like, oh, he used a different word in Italian, right? Or he used a word in English. Maybe he wrote this in English, but it's like a messed up version of English because he's still learning in some ways. No offense to him, but it's funny. It's ridiculous, right? Okay. Moving on with our lives. Pretty art though, right? Like, it's pretty hot to look at. Catwoman does some sweet ass fucking cat lady move. And not cat lady move. If she did that, she wouldn't move. She'd be on a couch with a glass of wine crying into like her fucking blue Russian cat or whatever. So anyway, and then Catwoman does like a sex pose that is probably making some boys in the distance of Gotham watching her on this lamppost like go through puberty early just from seeing it. And she's like, "Oh great. Now here comes the king of all party crashers." Like they look awesome, but they don't talk like their characters or they don't talk in a very natural way is all. It's not like the worst thing in the world. If you love the visuals, then you're just going to enjoy this. But like if you're looking for some in-depth writing, you're shit out of luck, kiddo. Then some guy shoots at Batman, and Joker's like, "No, no one shoots him till I say," and he blows a guy away. And then he says, "Okay, now it's time to shoot him." Haha, isn't he crazy? Joker be so crazy, y'all. It's that Joker we've seen where like he just kills his own men all the time, you know. Um, just they're all, and yet people just keep signing up with him nonstop. Like everyone just lines up to work for this fucking guy because the pay. I mean, they must get some kind of benefits, right? Free makeup. um. Anyway, he tells everyone to take him out, and then Joker's doing crazy shit that's gonna kill everyone. He's like, "Look, I can drive hands free and ice shot." and and then he says, "Enough foreplay. Let's jump right to the climax. Let's go down together, baby." Okay, whatever. He's trying to kill himself and Batman and everyone. Batman's on the car trying to punch him, and Batman puts a fist through the windshield, and Joker's like, "Ugh, don't be such a spoil sport." Now this was when the flags went up, right here, because he tells Batman that he's a spoil sport for stopping him from killing them. That's not even a little bit off. That's just completely wrong. So like I'm starting to think like this was written in Italiano. I love Italiano. Molto Italiano. But I but yeah, someone I think just they translated it, they copied it, they pasted it, they didn't do a lot of editing. They could have brought in another writer to work with him to turn this into something more in depth and polished and to at least use the right idioms and analogies and such. But then we got Catwoman being hot again on a piece of Gotham property, like a stripper and in heat. And she's like, "Adieu, my sweet pearls." Like it feels like someone like who's like kind of a kid came in and just added the dialogue to like cool images is how this book feels the whole time you read it, which can be a little weird. Anyway, so Batman does his Batman thing on the rooftop with good old Jim Gordon. And Gordon's a little different because he's doing something kind of not Jim Gordon-y. He's vaping. And they have their conversation. What do you think? I don't know, Batman. How are we gonna? I don't know either. And then Batman disappears. And then Jim goes, "Enough of this!" And he throws the vape. He's like done vaping. He quit. It's over. No more vapey. But the way he says it, like "enough of this," and throws it, like that's what an Italian person would do. That's how an Italian quits vaping. This is how they talk. They talk with these absolutes and with this intensity and maybe a little bit of drama to them that we don't. And it's refreshing, to be honest. I know some Americans might be a little off put of it or it doesn't sound right to our ear. It certainly doesn't sound right in this book. Enough of this! But it's a comic book. You can be a little more dramatic and cheesy with it. But I still, like, from my experience in Italy, like, I see the Italian. I feel the Italian. I hear the Italian. I smell the Italian. Um, but Mm, it's just the way they talk. That's if you translate their Italian, this is how they speak. So then a good old jokester is back with some runny mascara at his pad, full of like eyes wide shut participants, also known as his gang. So they're all like in a a fetish club, and he says, SOB tossed Harley's president to the river, and one of his thugs, shirtless and in a fetish clown mask, immediately says, "That's rude. What'd he do that for?" "Because he's Batman, and because he's a jerk." Okay, what? He's a jerk? Okay, it's supposed to be funny. Is it funny? I don't know. Anyway, so Joker's stomping around. Notice on Joker's left shoulder, there's this little guy kind of peeking. Yeah, pay attention to that guy. He's special. I like him. In fact, I think he's the best character in this book. So he stomps around. He ends up seeing some flashy teeth on one of his thugs. Yet another thug kind of confronts him, and he kills the guy and takes his teeth out and gives them to Harley. Lovely. They're not even plated in gold or anything. That actually might have been interesting or kind of funny or weird. He just gives her some teeth, and she's just like, "Yeah! You don't love me! You don't love me!" And she takes a Mags Visaggio uh, page from her book and smashes the cake with a baseball bat. And party's over. Party's ruined. And she says, "Boo hoo hoo, you don't love me, boo hoo hoo." Great translating there, DC. Come on. Once again, an editor or someone could have come in and fixed this up. So Joker does what he does. Oh, except we get this little guy again. He's like, "Scoop cake. Scoop cake." And the Joker just does what he does, what you expect. He's pissed off. He's mad at all the weird, like, fetishy gimps. One of them says the word slave on his chest. And he takes the Tommy gun and he says, "You're fired! You're fired!" And he blows them all away. I mean, this is stuff we've seen before. It's almost too familiar, isn't it? Beautiful art. Stuff we've seen before, a little too on the side of much. We're on like around page 31 here. We haven't even gotten into the plot yet. We had a hook at the beginning of the story, but there's been no plot. It's been all character development, and we've already seen the Joker killing his men just for looking at him wrong over and over, and now he's doing it again. La-di-da. At this point, what should be a scene that really hits us or freaks us out or surprises us doesn't at all. So could have worked on that a little bit. And then he puts the gun to a little short round's head here, and it's like click, 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 click. "What's up with you, shorty? You don't even flinch." And he's just like, "Name's Archie, and life sucks, so what do I care? Forget about it." And Joker's like, "I like you. Suicidal, huh? Nice." So Archie is the best character in this book. I want to see Archie take on Batman himself and see how he deals with it. Hopefully we get to. So Batman's like cruising in his Batmobile, and he gets information of a waitress has filed a paternity suit against Bruce Wayne. And he's the father, supposedly, allegedly, of her 8-year-old daughter. So the plot has finally kicked in. We're on page like 32? 31, 32? Fun. And it's only just begun. So Turbo Skank here shows up saying, "Hey, you put this kid in me, Bruce, and I want your money." She obviously dressed as nice as she could for this reunion of father and daughter. So yeah, she's just playing the old, you owe me something. Yeah, right. Batman did not. Okay, no way. But she's covering her arm. She's got the track marks. She's got an addiction. She's out of her mind. Someone's like paying her off to do this. So she's pushing her little daughter onto Bruce, and Bruce, she's like, "I really need the money." And Bruce is pretty unenthused, pretty unimpressed, and he's like, I hope you got a good lawyer. You're going to need a good one. And she's like, he's like, I've got important business. And she's like, more important than your own daughter? And then she says, should have guessed, typical rich jerk. There he is again. Batman's a jerk. Again. Okay. And then we have the best part of this book, Catwoman just meowing and purring and licking and doing cat things. And it's amazing. And she's coming on to him, and Batman's, typical, I've got things to do. And gosh, she looks good too. Woof. And she's like, so ignore me. Maybe the mother was right about it. You're a typical rich jerk. And thus she's calling him a jerk. Everybody thinks Batman's a jerk in this fucking book. Anyway, let's just take a moment to take Selina in. The artist did a fantastic job. Even without her costume, that's Catwoman. That's awesome. That's fun. So we cut to fake baby mama and the 8-year-old with the little birthmark around her eye. And she said, yeah, of course, honey. There could be no other way. Of course, Bruce Wayne's your dad. And he's some thug in the front that's driving him around is like, yeah, we're going to have a DNA test prove this. Wayne's going to pay big. And then they get hit by a fucking truck. Whoops. all of them smashed. And the Joker pulls them out of the car. Now, I don't know why he hit them with a truck and thought, okay, they'll live through this and I'll be able to kidnap the little girl, but he did. It totally threw me off. I just don't think that's a good way to kidnap someone, by smashing them up like, a sardine in a tin can. But whatever. So the Joker's pulling his knife on her. He's being a total creepazoid. We're returning to the beginning of the story here. And he offers her some pizza. And they talk, and Joker says, he tries explaining, to the delivery guy how unhealthy pizza was, and he didn't believe it. So he's, no tip for him, jerk. And then he eats the pizza. So we're just calling people jerks left and right. Once again, this goes back to the translation issue. That's all. He might have had different kind of slanders for these people. Maybe he didn't, but I don't know. It seems a little repetitive here. Everyone's calling each other just a jerk. The whole book. It's just so out of place, you know what I mean? So then Joker goes off. They're eating pizza and things are like mildly light for a moment. And then he says, you see, Dad used to lock me up in a hole, just like this one, so he could attend to Mom. Dad wasn't good at multitasking. Couldn't keep Ma in line with one hand while she was knocking me around with the other. Well, he was knocking me around with the other. It's a male problem in general, you know. What? Beating up your mom and the kid at the same time it's a male problem in general? No, it's not. That's not a common thing. But ultimately, I'm very grateful to him. Good old daddy just wanted to make me stronger. So I'm getting this sense that maybe this girl actually is the Joker's, but we'll just have to see. So Batman is on the prowl for her. Suddenly, he's searching for her after they were hit and kidnapped by the Joker. He's all over the city, raging, looking for her, beating the hell out of everyone, and they're all pretty much thinking, what a jerk! Well, he does it, and he comes across Killer Croc, who's kind of the body modification Croc we've seen before in other books. The tattooed on scales and the, I don't even know what it's called, where you put that stuff under your skin, under epidermal, I don't know, but he's got those. And he's a total, kind of a thug. It looks like his rings actually read Croc, which is kind of cool. And Batman enters the way he always does in every movie, through a window. If you are a Gotham criminal, I'd have a window phobia. Okay? Don't play your games, don't hang out in anywhere where there's giant like man-sized windows that a giant Batman can leap through. Okay. Okay. So then Batman's brooding on top of an antenna where he can't see what's going on down below. Everything's covered in that classic Gotham mist, but he's just, I can't find her. Yeah, you might need to come down a few million stories there, bucko. Anyway, Master Bruce, I'm worried. You need your rest. You haven't slept for days. Neither has she, Alfred. He's just completely obsessed with her by now. He just kind of suddenly gets obsessed with her the way this story plays out, to be honest. Somewhere out there, a little girl's afraid for her life. And we see a last frame of her, and they forgot to put her birthmark over her eye, which is something editorial should have caught, and they didn't. And so we see her missing the birthmark. I don't know if that was on purpose, and it turns out that was all fake and like a little bit of makeup. Didn't seem like it. Seems like an error to me, but who knows? We'll just have to see because there's another book. As for this book, I'm going to recommend it for people who love art and don't give a damn about story. If you don't care and you just love that art, that's awesome. If you like books more whenever you're just obsessing over the art and the writing, and it's both of them are working in unison in this gorgeous way to draw you in, this might not be the book for you. Also, you're going to have to drop a pretty penny on this thing. This thing's, I believe it's only hardback. I could be wrong, but it costs a little bit on the side of much, and if you want it for the art, that's awesome, but you do have to drop that cash on this, so you might want to consider that. But yeah, this was what happens when an Italian author gets Google translated and they don't really do much to polish it up and put it out. That's all. And it feels like, I understand when you wrote a Batman story, in a way you're drawing from a lot of things from Batman that have already previously been done, but this felt weird and like a weird combination of Batman things, like almost kind of awkward and kind of like cliche in some ways. It kept shifting because of the way he picked from different things he liked from different Batman stories over the years. It shifted tones, and shifting tone is dangerous for any story. You got to watch out. One minute Batman's the most brooding dark knight ever, and the next it feels almost like Adam West, and they're making like cheesy one-liners. This book's really all over the place like that. Some people might love it because it's so many things they love about Batman too. To me, this is just a strange tasting cocktail of Batman, but each to their own. I want to thank you for listening to me rant about this interesting phenomenon of a book. I don't think you're going to see many things like this ever, really. So good for this author. I hope in the future he can work more with like an editor or another writer to create great art and great story that would pretty much, outsell everything else out there, which I'm sure this artist could pull off because he's excellent. And I love his Italian style and passion and love for Batman. It shows. So that's going for it. It's awesome. So, yeah, keep up the good work, and I will definitely check out the next one, but I'm not having fun reading your strangely translated dialogue there, bucko. Yeah, work on that. Call me, I'll help. Gladly. We can do a little Italian. Back and forth, a little Italiano. Alright, thanks everyone. Take care, subscribe, please like the video, or let me know. Give me some comments about what you think. I would love to hear something, and ring the bell for continued service, and I am Rise Again. Thanks for tuning in, and death to me.